Tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about your district.
I'm from Rosemount and Apple Valley, and that is a southern suburb of St. Paul and Minneapolis, but mostly on the St. Paul side. And it's a great district, great schools, well known for District 196. And then Flint Hills, a refinery is there, and probably Apple Valley Wrestling. So they have a wonderful wrestling team there.
And tell us a little bit about your background.
I've been a teacher at Rosemount High School for 14 years. I teach economics and advanced placement, micro and macroeconomics. And then, 2 years before that in Colorado teaching. So I've been a public school teacher for 16 years.
What led you to run for state representative?
15 years of teaching economics and watching things, if you can imagine 15 years ago, we were flush with surpluses, government surpluses, and then, so I've been teaching the macroeconomics behind the slow erosion of deficits and debt and just seeing that, and it's definitely not a Republican or Democrat thing. It just seems like a systemic thing, and I thought with my skills and experience I could lend myself to a solution. So hopefully look forward to working with other people and solving some of the issues that face us.
If you could offer up the first bill of the session, what would it be?
Oh, in a dream world, it would be totally restructuring our tax system, but that would be that would take a lot of research and debate and discourse too. Not to do anything dictatorial or anything, but to have those discussions about what it takes to move a modern economy, a 21st century economy, into that macro level of you look at Macau and Hong Kong and South Dakota and Texas, and we have such interesting states and countries to learn from in terms of how they tax and create jobs. Jobs was the overwhelming theme of this last election, and getting our economy back on track. And I think that quite a bit could be done to do that from a revenue standpoint, to have some theory of rational expectations, if you will, on the business side of things.
When the end of session finally rolls around in May, what will determine whether or not you have been a successful legislator?
I think it's going to boil down to, were you able to take the current financial situation, the deficit that we face, and were you able to balance that with what government is here to do, and that is to provide public education. Again, it's in our Constitution, public safety, protect the elderly, the disabled. Were we able to do those things that government is there to do, and balance where we have to cut equally among other groups, and listen to people and learn as much as you can. Obviously, coming from a public school, I understand public education, but I also want to get out and understand the health and human services side of things as well, something that I'm not as educated about, being that those two, K-12 and health and human services, are pretty much, I think, the majority of the budget, 85% probably. So,
if you could sit down and have a conversation with anyone, living or deceased, who would it be, and what would you talk about?
His name is Francois Quincey, and he was a French economist. He was also Louis XV's surgeon. So he's a man that, in my teaching of economics and the history of economics, that I've always been interested in. A very learned man, both in the physical sciences of kinesiology and the human body, but then also a very studied man in finance, and really studied money, and he was studying money and the flow of blood around the human body, and he was studying money as well as the circulatory flow of the macroeconomy in France at the time. And he was a physiocrat, and I believe one of Thomas Jefferson's real favorite reads. So I would love, even though I would have to learn French. So I hope in your example I get to communicate in some common language.
So I've reached the end of my questions. Is there anything else that you would like to talk about, or maybe something you'd like to add?
Oh, just wonderful. I look forward to serving here at the Capitol. And again, the teacher becomes student, and I will go to work learning as much as I can, as quickly as I can. So, thank you.
Thank you.